Okay. Please join me at your home in chanting this beautiful sutta spoken by the Buddha long time ago, but still very, very relevant for all of us, the Metta Sutta. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, not busy with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm, and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be happy. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be happy. Let none deceive another, or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding, by not holding to false views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So welcome everybody from all places across the globe. I said before the recording started already, Finland, France, Australia, Sweden, Australia, wow, that's the best. No. And many other places, America. And the Armadale Group is no longer the Armadale Group. Now we really have to spread kindness over the entire world. Because all our friends in this group are all over the entire world. And whether these friends are weak or strong, we won't omit them, because may they all be happy. And today you invited me to talk a little bit about meditation and do a guided meditation as well, as we usually do. And I'm very happy to do that, because from meditation we can find a lot of happiness. Much more happiness I've had from meditation than from anything else in my life. And I've had a good life before I was a monk already. But still the best happiness came from meditation. I had good food, good friends, travels, nice girlfriend, and all of it. But meditation, wow, that was even better. You can get so much happiness from meditation, and that's why I am now here. And I think that's also why many of you are now there sitting listening to me, because you realize this as well, that you can get a lot of happiness out of meditation. However, sometimes you also get a lot of suffering out of meditation as well. It's not always roses and sunshine in meditation. You will probably notice. Raise your hand if you agree. Yeah, can you get suffering? Okay, yeah, all right, that's good. It's not just me that sometimes suffered in meditation. Just so you know, everybody sometimes struggles a bit in meditation. It's part of the course. I was just walking before here, before I joined the group, to go to the toilet, and just walked a little bit through the forest here where we live. And there was a little Joey, little baby kangaroo, just came out of the pouch of the mother. It's that time of year that the new Joeys come out of the pouch, which is always one of my favorite times of years to watch the kangaroos, because they are so cute, the Joeys. That's an Australian word for international people. Joey is just the little baby kangaroo. And they are so cute, but especially when they just come out of the pouch, because they don't know how to walk and jump yet. So they jump so happily until they trip and then fall, and then they quickly, they're not happy anymore, and they go back into the mother's pouch again. And because I was about to teach meditation, I thought, maybe that's a little bit like meditation. You know, you sometimes you're so happy in your mind, wow, everything is exciting and cool, and other times you trip and fall and you just want to huddle back in your mother's pouch and you don't want to meditate. So what causes this? Why is meditation sometimes so peaceful, so nice, and sometimes not? It depends on our attitude that we have. If we approach meditation with desire, ill will, and delusion, then we get suffering. If we approach meditation with being contented and easily satisfied, and with kindness, with metta, and with understanding, then we can find a lot of peace. And to develop all these qualities, kindness, contentment, understanding, that takes practice. That's just the way it is. So just like the little Joeys, they need practice, to be a big kangaroo, to be able to jump and not fall. So too, meditators have to practice to develop their meditation. It's all part for the course, even these so-called bad meditations. That's why I don't like to call them bad meditations, because you learn from them often much more than the so-called good meditation. So there's not good and bad, they all come together as one package. Yeah? The suffering and happiness are, in a sense, two sides of the same coin, and you can't have a coin with one side. Now, when I was a little Joey myself, a little boy, or when I was about 12 years old until I was about 16, 17 maybe, I used to work in the Netherlands, where I lived in the greenhouses. And there's an area in the Netherlands where they have lots of greenhouses and they grow all sorts of crops there, like tomatoes and whatever. And I used to work at some point in a flower greenhouse, and then my job was to pick the flowers. That was literally my job, just picking flowers all day like this. Literally like this. Yeah, it's very easy. You just walk through a bed of flowers and pick the flowers. It's a very nice job. And I did it as a boy in my holidays from school. Yeah, like a summer holiday, and or a Christmas holiday, work there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning as well. Not Sunday, that was the day of the Lord, no work. They were very Christian, those people that owned that place. But so the reason I'm telling you this is Saturday morning, at the end of the day, when we cleaned up everything, that was always the payday. That's when I got my money from my boss. was a really nice boss, by the way, because you just told him, oh, this week I worked so and so many hours, and he just believed you. And then he asked you, oh, and what was your hourly rate again? And you just said it. He just believed you. And of course, that makes you want to be honest anyway, some person like that. So you just said, oh, I worked, I don't know, maybe 35 hours this week, and that means you owe me so and so much money. And then he would just grab his wallet, give you the money, usually even a little bonus as well. And he said, thank you for working for me this week, and see you next week. Wow. Maybe at some point I should have thought, Saturday is the payday. What if Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday I just stay at home and just only come on Saturday, only on payday? Wow. Then I get paid. Always. A lot of money. Yeah, it doesn't work like that, right? You have to work on Monday, Tuesday, etc. And then on Saturday, that's the payday. And it's the same often in meditation. Those so-called bad meditations are not the payday. So you might think, I will only come on meditation payday from now on. I will only come when there's a good meditation, and when I have a bad meditation, I'll just stop, and that's not the right time. No, don't think like that, because those moments that are a bit more difficult, when your mind just doesn't want to get peaceful, that is when is your Mondays and so forth, when you put in the work, when you do the training, and then the more training you do, the bigger your payoff on Saturday, the more peace you get. So also don't think, this time I meditated, I must have done something right that I didn't do the other time. Well, in a sense that's true, but in another sense it's all those other times that build up to this time. Sometimes things just click because you've been practicing. So, therefore, whether your meditation is suffering or happiness, always be content with it. Yeah? Don't just be content with the happy meditations, with the peaceful meditation. Also be happy and content with the suffering meditations, with those times that you struggle, your mind just doesn't want to get peaceful. Be content with that as well. Otherwise, if you're only content with the happy meditations, you'll create craving for those happy meditations. And then you'll just make it more difficult next time, because you'll try and move from this place to that place. And if you try and move from this place in your mind to that place in your mind, that is called craving. That is desire. That is not being content. That is not being satisfied. If you can be content and satisfied with whatever your mind brings, whatever your body brings as well, by the way, because meditation involves the body as well. If you can be content with that, that is the way towards stillness. That is the way towards peace. And you can make sense of that, right? Even like on an intellectual level. Yeah, of course, if I'm happy and content, then I won't want anything. So then I can be peaceful. And this is always the way of practice. Being content and happy. And then things start to change all by themselves. It's not because you want them to change. You force them to change. No, that doesn't work. Well, sometimes it works to a certain extent, but then you get stuck at a certain level. And you get frustrated. Yeah, meditation is not supposed to be like that. So, contentment, that is such a powerful way to approach meditation in life in general. To be content if your body is healthy, and be content if your body is sick. You know, it's the nature of the body. What can you do? Yeah, sometimes you get sick. Everybody gets sick sometimes. A couple of months ago I had COVID really, really bad. Yeah? My body was in pain, but my mind was not in pain. I was just the same in my mind. And that actually surprised me. Because it's been so long since I got sick. And last time I was sick, like really sick. It was such a long time ago. My mind wasn't as developed yet. I was really struggling in my mind as well. Like, why am I sick? My body is sick. I don't feel good. All this life. Now people want things from me while I'm sick. Well, get all this suffering in the mind. But this time, there was Lost Range retreat. I was sick in the body. I didn't even have to try or remember. I just automatically, my reaction mentally was to be the same. Still happy, it's just the body being sick. I don't have to suffer over that, right? It's just the nature of the body, and why would I make my life even worse by creating sickness in the mind as well? The mind can be healthy while the body is sick. And that is, I didn't even have to reflect on that, it just came automatically because I've put in the work on the Mondays, Tuesdays and so forth over the years. And this was, in a sense, was my Saturday, my payoff. I was sick but happy, happy to be sick. And I had COVID really, really badly, physically. But mentally, I didn't have any COVID at all. I was excellent, doing fine. And that is also how meditation can improve your life in such ways as well. You're sick, or other people create problems for you. Other people are very good at that, creating problems. You probably know that just as much as I do, maybe even more. And or just other things happen in life. You have to, even as a monk, you have to do all these government stuff like Medicare and all that sort of stuff. Especially when I have my visa renewed every so often, I have to go through the whole rigmarole again and again. Getting all these documents and stuff. It can be suffering, but can also just I'll just do it and it's fine. It's the same with meditation. You can have either attitude to it. You can have the attitude of this meditation is bad. I should be different, or you can have the attitude this is okay, this is good enough for me. Another good way to reflect on this is that I've been using for quite a while actually. I don't know if it's anywhere in the suttas, but sometimes you just make up your own little techniques in meditation and they just seem to work, so you keep them. Don't be afraid to be a bit creative in your meditation sometimes, and if you find your own little tricks and they work, just use them. And the thing I came up with was if my meditation was restless and a mind not peaceful and so forth, suffering basically, then I just thought to myself, this is just exactly where I need to be right now. This is what I need to learn from. So this suffering is exactly what I need. This is perfect for me right now. If I would have a peaceful meditation right now, I wouldn't progress in my practice. So thank you so much. I have to mute somebody here. Okay, thank you very much. So thank you so much for interrupting this talk. It doesn't matter. I'm happy still, content. And same in my mind. If my mind starts talking during meditation, yes, this is exactly what I need. I can learn from this and to not be annoyed by that, Today I want to guide you in meditation in such a way that whatever happens is, in a sense, perfect. Is exactly what we need. It's what we can be content with. This is our practice. Not to crave for things. Our practice is to be happy with whatever comes. This is what the Noble Truths come down to. If you crave, then eventually you'll get suffering. If you don't crave, then eventually you don't get suffering. That to realize that all the way is very deep, and it's more than just contentment and what I'm talking about right now, but already from the beginning of our practice, this principle applies. If you crave in your meditation, they don't want to be here but want to be somewhere else, then you'll suffer. If you don't crave in your meditation, if you don't have ill will, if you don't want to get rid of things and get something else, then the suffering starts to disappear. Then whatever comes is good. Whatever comes, you can be happy with. So, I think I am content with what I've said so far. And I think we can do a meditation together for about 45 minutes, I believe. And then afterwards, we'll see what happens then. Just let me get things a little bit prepared here. Sorry about that. You also prepare things over at your side. Meditation is always good to make sure you got everything in your environment nice. Muting your phone, for example, and don't get disturbed unnecessarily during meditation. Those kind of things. That's not what I was doing. I don't have a phone like that, but put your chair in the right position, that sort of thing. As the start of this meditation, please join me in listening to the sound of the bell. At the start of meditation, don't be too still straight away. By which I mean, you don't have to sit still right away. It's always good to take a few minutes to adjust your body. Make sure that your posture is comfortable. I have to take extra care, for example, now, because I'm meditating on a chair, which I'm not used to. So I have to make sure, because I'm in a strange place, that my posture is comfortable, that my body is relatively at ease. And you should do the same. Because by making the body peaceful and at ease as much as is possible today, we create the right foundation for meditation. So please pay close attention to your body. And if you think that there is anything you might want to adjust in your body or posture, please do so. Sometimes I even feel that what I need to do is open my eyes again and just let them close naturally instead of forcing them closed. There can be little things like that if you're very aware of your body, if you're in tune. You learn to let your body settle naturally instead of forcing it. I'm also adjusting my robe to make it a bit more comfortable as well. It's very comfortable clothing anyway, but sometimes you get a fold that is in the wrong place, and the same for you. your clothing. If there's any folds or seams that you're sitting on, for example, don't think, I'll just sit through this. No, be kind to yourself. It takes only a second to adjust and you'll be happy for it. Because it's sometimes these little things that can come up later in the meditation and then unnecessarily take you out of some very deep states of meditation sometimes. Take as much time as you need to adjust your body and posture, your cushion, your clothing. But also realize that it will never be completely perfect. That's just the nature of life, the nature of the body especially. We can train the mind to be happy, but we cannot train the body to be always peaceful. It's sometimes just going to be suffering, so we accept that as well. Once you've done those coarse adjustments to the body, still don't let go of the body yet. Now send kindness, contentment to the body. None of our bodies is perfect, but they're good enough. Some of you might even have chronic illnesses, but it's good enough. Why is it good enough? Because you're able to receive this talk today and you're able to meditate. If you're able to meditate, then it's good enough, whatever. So be kind to your body. It got you here. Thank you, body, for getting me here. And you can tell your body that it can relax. There's nowhere to go for the next 45 minutes. Or however long it still will be. There's nothing to do. If there's any areas of tension in your body, see if you can let go of that tension. Again, with the realization that things will never be perfect. And that we be content with whatever the body brings us today. But still, sometimes we can relax the body just a little bit further. Not through force, not through craving, but through kindness and wisdom. Through understanding how the body works. In connection with the mind. So make special care not to look at your body with ill will or desire. To relax it not through craving or anger, but through kindness and contentment. It's like you give your body the opportunity to relax. If it does so, great. If it doesn't do so, also fine. We are happy either way. You can spend quite a long time relaxing the body, if that is what you feel like. At some point, if you spend too long with the body, it'll become uncomfortable. So at some point you have to usually pick something else for meditation, like your breath or loving kindness, but definitely don't rush this part of the meditation, of relaxing your body. Because as I said before, it's the foundation for the rest. You see, even now I still realize that it's more comfortable to take my glasses off. And I do that. I don't go like, I should just sit still now and not do anything. No, because I'm still in that part of my meditation where I'm taking care of my body. So I took my glasses off and put them aside. Now my face is more comfortable. Kindness to myself, my body. At some point you decide, okay, this is good enough for today, for relaxing my body. You decide for yourself when that is. If you want to follow along with me, then that moment is about right now. And one reason why I like to focus, especially in these teachings, so much on relaxing the body, is because it is the exact same attitude that we should develop towards the mind. So that's what we turn our attention to right now. What is the mind like? Is it restless? Is it sleepy? Are there a lot of thoughts going through your mind? Just get in tune with that process we call mind. Sometimes you might not exactly know or be able to give a name to what your mind is like, but then just know that fact. This is what it's like. Sadness, happiness, anger, kindness, they're all phenomena that arise in the mind. And this is what the mind is like. And for today's special teaching, the little thing that I explained before is tell yourself that this mind and body, whatever they are like, is exactly what you need. Is exactly perfectly right for you right now to be able to learn and to meditate and to progress towards the higher goals of the path. If your mind would be more peaceful today, that wouldn't be good, because that's not what you need right now. You need that restless mind of yours, because that is just so perfect for you. Thank you so much, mind and body, to be the way you are now and to be able to teach me today. I'm so happy to be here, to have the ability to meditate here together with this body and mind. And you can find your own little way to convince yourself that this stage you're in right now is what is good and what you should be content with. Because that is the way of kindness, the way of not craving, the way of contentment, the way of not ill will. Just happy to be here. Even if the mind is restless. Even if the body is uncomfortable. Because we are all easily satisfied. And we are satisfied the moment we sit down to meditate. Everything from that moment on is perfect, in a sense. even if you find that your mind today is unable to be contented and easily satisfied, then you have to be content with that as well. Be content to be discontent. Be satisfied to be unsatisfied. Because this mind is not yours anyway. It's not in control of whoever you think you are. It just does its own thing. And whatever it does, it's not up to us. This meditation session, the results are not up to us. So we can be content with whatever this session brings. I will now be quiet for another 15 minutes. Please use those reflections for your own meditation as you see fit, or do whatever else you see fit, as long as it's with contentment. And after 50 minutes, I will guide you out of the meditation. Dear friends, it's close to the end of the meditation. Now is the opportunity to reflect back on what happened. First ask yourself, how do you feel now? Not with an attitude of judgment, but just inquiry. I mean, not negative judgment or positive judgment, just ask yourself, what does it feel like to be here right now? Do you feel any different from the start of the meditation? If so, why? What caused that? And during the meditation, were there any highlights or low points that you can recall? And why were those moments like that? You may not be able to answer this right now, but at least ask the question. Don't ask these questions during the meditation, but afterwards, when your mind has some more power. And now, to end this session, whatever you feel like right now, again, remind yourself, be content with this. Be content and happy with this entire meditation session. Whatever it was like for you. Maybe it was the worst ever, you think. And still, you were there to meditate. And you sat through it. So you can be very happy about that and content. And if the meditation was especially good, then also just be content. Not elated or overly joyful. Just content. This is the way it is. And it'll all change again. But for now, I'm happy. And if you find it difficult to be content with your meditation today, or even if you find it easy, I finally invite you to reflect upon the fact that we all meditated together here. Although we are physically apart, mentally we are friends, a group meditating together. And you, as an individual, were part of that. So you helped those other people in their meditation. So I want to thank you for that. And I want you to realize that even just that is already very beautiful. And something special that you give to us. I want you to realize that you should be very happy for that. And also happy for all those other people who joined you today. For the people online who might be meditating on their own, just reflect similarly. Your meditation will also have an effect on other people. I just feel like continuing to meditate now, but I'm also content to finish the meditation. So in a moment I will invite the bell. I will ring it 3 times. At the end of the 3rd ring, it's time to come out of your meditation. Contentment, contentment, contentment. It's such a beautiful, simple thing, yet so profound as well. You might think, this monk Sunyo gives such a simple teaching. When is finally I'm gonna give the deep teachings about non-self and vipassana and the insight knowledges and so forth? But I am giving you very deep teachings. Yeah? If you realize non-self, then this leads to contentment. And also the other way around. Contentment and non-self, they go together. That's why my mind went there a little bit at the end of the guided part of the meditation to non-self. Because once you realize that things are not in your control anyway, why would you crave them to be different? Why would you have ill will towards things that you cannot change? It's only useful to have ill will if you can actually use it to change things. But you can't. And the same with desire. It's only useful to crave for things if you can go and actually chase and do exactly what you want all the time. But you can't. And this is such an important aspect of non-self. As the Buddha said, if of your consciousness, your feeling, your body and so forth, you could have it, let it be so and let it not be so, then it would be appropriate to call it a self. But you can't. So it's not a self and it leads to affliction, he says. And that is a deep topic, but it is directly connected to contentment. Yeah? Because once you realize this, all right, it's like that. Yeah? It's dukkha, anicca, anatta, so might as well be content with that. Yeah? No need to suffer extra over that. So these are actually very deep teachings. And the sort of ironic part for me is that earlier today I realized, I'm going to teach the Armadale group tonight. Yippee-yay! So I better give a good talk. So what am I going to talk about? Okay, yeah. I should talk about the different ways to stop the thinking. Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. So I had all these ideas of what I was going to talk about, And I had a good teaching, good ideas, some analogies in my mind. But that's stupid. It's so stupid. Why did I even do that? Because now I'm sitting here and I read out the Metta Sutta and I saw the word contentment and then my mind just clicked on that. Contentment, okay, that's going to be the topic today. And the word just came out of my mouth. And when I was talking, and I couldn't control what I was saying, it just came out. Yeah. So all that preparation, that desire to give the good talk about the different ways to still the thoughts was all useless. I should have known better by now. I do know better, but sometimes you forget, which is okay. I'm happy with that as well. But yeah, this is the thing with Dhamma sometimes. It's called the Dhamma talk because it's the Dhamma that talks. It's not Sunyo that talks, it's just the Dhamma that comes out automatically sometimes. And Ajahn Brahm once asked me, when he was inviting me to give lots of talks in Dhammaloka, relatively much for when I was a younger monk, he said, are you okay doing those talks, And I said, yeah, fine. He said, oh, is it not too difficult? And then I said, at that moment I had some wisdom. I said, yeah, it's easy. I just open my mouth and stuff comes out. Sometimes nonsense, I said. I added. Then Ajahn Brahm said, yeah, that usually makes for the good teachings. So I hope, maybe, this was a good teaching for some of you anyway. If not, then there's plenty of other things on the internet you can find, or other ways to meditate. But either way, whether this was good for you or not, keep contentment in mind, because it's so helpful in meditation and life. So now I will be content and happy if you don't have any questions. But if you do have any questions, then that's also fine.
Hi, Venerable.
Hey, Bob.
How are you?
Hanging around.
What's your favourite meditation, please?
My favorite meditation is whatever meditation is right for me at that moment. Yeah? It basically comes down to what I just said. I thought, I'm going to speak about stilling the thoughts. You know? I'm going to meditate stilling the thoughts. And then I sit here and realize, today is not, at this moment, the best way to meditate is just the contentment. And the best way to teach. It's similar approach I have to teaching, I have to meditation as well. I don't go plan in advance, 4 o'clock I do metta meditation, 5 o'clock I do walking meditation. You know? And I don't have a schedule like that. And I just sit down, check out my body and mind. And I was going to say, then I decide what is best, but I don't even decide myself. I've meditated enough now that my mind knows by itself what is right to do. Yeah? It knows what tool is appropriate. There's so many ways you can meditate, and I often compare it to having a toolbox. I'm one of the monks who does the DIY stuff here in the monastery, and usually the woodworking, I make like furniture things for the monks, yeah. Make them nice and simple as well. But for example, racks to hang our robe on. I'm making a new rack right now for the kitchen, outside the kitchen. And you have many different tools in your toolbox. The chisel, the mallet, the measuring tools, the pencil, the saw, everything. But if I only had a chisel, then I couldn't make a rope rack. If I only had a pencil, then I couldn't make a rope rack. If I only had a saw, then I couldn't make a rope rack. I need them all. And it's the same in meditation. You need the different things at different times. Yeah? And a job that you do with a pencil is different from the job that you do with the chisel. Yeah? You draw out your lines, and then afterwards you chisel. And it's the same. If you have ill will in your mind, then it's not the right time to go and contemplate the nature of the body, right? Because then, it's probably have ill will towards your body as well. Then it's the right time to do metta meditation. And for example, or just equanimity, or contentment, kindness. You become very flexible. And sometimes things also come naturally. Now sometimes, the more often for me now. Once Ajahn Brahm in an interview in the Range Retreat asked me, Sunyo, are you doing a lot of metta meditation? I think he could feel it. Because I was. But I said, yeah, I can't help it. Because then I sit down and just metta comes up. What are you going to do? This is not the right time to do metta meditation. Go away, metta. No, metta comes up. It's the right time to do metta. But I wouldn't even call that my favorite meditation. Because sometimes it's not the right time to do metta. So I just do whatever is right for the moment. Yeah. And today that was contentment. Good question. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunyo.
ask the question? Yes, sorry that it's not about meditation. I've been wanting to ask this for quite a while. In the case where, because like Buddhism in the sutta, or like sometimes emphasize a lot about like honoring your parents or supporting your parents. And I just wondering, in the case like the parents abuse their child, for example, like physically and emotionally, will there be bad karma generated, or like you will get reborn in lower realm if like you decided to go no contact and you do not really support them?
Okay.
That's
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's not a meditation question per se, but a good question nonetheless. And I think it's not a question that only you have. I've had it from other people before, and I'm pretty sure there's other people listening to this talk, whether later or now, that have the same question. It's true that the suttas talk about supporting your parents, but we should also realize that the suttas often phrase things in general, what is useful for the general populace, by which I mean most people, right? If your parents are abusive and they don't support you, then I say they don't count as your parents. Really. They may have given a physical birth, your mother, to you, and your father might be biologically your father, but if they abuse you and don't treat you like a parent should, then they are not really your parents. And then, but maybe you had other people in your life that were supportive. Maybe siblings or grandparents. Then if they supported you, then it's right to support them back. That is what the principle is about. It's about people who helped you, whether to grow up or become an adult or whatever after that. You have a certain responsibility to pay back to those people, if possible. If they're still alive, you still can contact them. If your parents didn't fulfill that role, then you don't have that duty. Yeah.
But like, I just wonder, because sometimes it's like they kind of provide you food or place to live, and then they provide you clothing, but at the other hand, they abuse you at the same time. So I was wondering, does that still count as like they support you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, they support you then physically, but you know, you can make sense of these things for yourself. Do you feel like you have to help your parents out, or do you think you only should because it's in the suttas, you know? Where does your heart incline towards? That is where you should support. My parents were very good to me and always very kind. So I feel naturally inclined to help them now if they need something. They live very far away, so I can only do so much. This is also a thing as a monk that you have to reflect upon. You know, support your parents, but how can I do it? Yeah, it's hard as living at the other side of the world, but I also decided that the best way to support my parents is actually by being a monk. Not to give them physical support. I can't pay for their old age home later because I don't have any money, but I support them in a different way. I support them by finding my own happiness in life. That is what my parents would have wanted anyway, for me to be happy. And I support them by showing that through my practice I am changing, and hopefully, I know I'm becoming a more kinder and more wise person. And they will recognize that. So that is how I support my parents, in a kind of an indirect way, but good as well. And you can, so basically I'm teaching my parents. And you can maybe, in your own situation, I will not give you specific advice, you have to figure it out for yourself. Maybe you can teach your parents somehow, in some way, about the things you've learned from life and meditation, you know? And you don't have to physically support them, but by being yourself, and maybe by not contacting them, that's actually your teaching in a way, That's just an example. Then I'll realize, maybe we should have been different to Gloria. Yeah? And that is also a way of supporting. A better way, actually. Because physical support is only so much, but teaching people and letting people grow in life, that is much more valuable. Sometimes the children have to teach the parents.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. I'm happy it does, because I was just, I'm not in that experience myself, so sometimes I'm just trying to envision myself in such a scenario and see what I would have done. And sometimes that's a little bit of a shot in the dark, but I'm happy that it did make sense. Yeah. Thanks for that question. Anybody else have a question, or is everybody content? Okay, it seems like everybody is happy. Wow, really? Usually there are so many questions. Well, you must have been very content with meditation. Yeah? Okay. So
Dante, I have a question.
Oh yeah, don't feel afraid. Yeah.
It's not quite related to meditation, but yes, in a sense, yes. I've also noticed that by practicing meditation and I'm becoming more patient and more compassionate, and maybe good qualities are increasing. And I was wondering if it is the good qualities that later we can take into another life, like rebirth. Is that what we call good karma, or is it just for this life?
Yeah, it's for both. Yeah. Well, ideally, it would just be for this life, because it would be the last. That would be the best. But if you don't make the path all the way to the end, then meditation is the best way to make good karma. Because karma, it's a little bit technical. Don't want to spend too much time explaining. Karma was also a concept that already existed at the time of the Buddha, and he used it a little bit differently. He was always a very skillful and creative teacher. And karma, at that point in time, before the Buddha came along, it meant, especially in the religion of the Jains, it meant whatever you do, especially physically. Yeah, to the Jains, physical actions was karma. So even if you step on an ant, you don't know it, you don't do it intentionally, then to the Jains that was bad karma. But then the Buddha came along and he said, what I call karma is intention. This is a very famous phrase in Buddhism. In the suttas, the Buddha says, what I call karma is intention. So if you do accidentally step on an ant, to give that example again, to the Buddha that's not bad karma, because you didn't intend it. You didn't do that purposefully. So basically what the Buddha is saying, karma is in the mind. It's the intentions of the mind that I call karma. So if you have good intentions, that's good karma. If you have bad intentions, that's bad karma. And in meditation, if you have intentions of kindness, contentment, and so forth, then you are so-called making a lot of good karma, because you create patterns in the mind. If you practice contentment now, And it's likely that later in the day or tomorrow, next week or whatever, you'll also be more likely to be content because you've practiced, you laid that foundation. It's meditation is reprogramming ourselves, reprogramming our mind. If you're kind in your meditation, you'll also be likely be kind to other people. Yeah, it's not likely that you'll be very kind to yourself and spreading loving kindness all over the world in your meditation, and then you come out of meditation and then you start a fight with somebody. Yeah, that's not very likely to happen because the patterns in your meditation, they continue, they stick in the mind, and this can also continue after death. Because the mind is not physical, it is not bound to the existence of the body. If the body dies, and if there's still craving, that gives fuel to the mind to continue in the next life. But then it also takes those patterns along. So if you've been kind, content in this life, then after that the mind will also tend to be kind and content. And that kindness and contentment, it's likely you'll reward yourself with a good rebirth for that. If you have a lot of ill will, then in your life, then your mind after that is also likely to have ill will, and then you might get a bad rebirth because you're angry at yourself, and you might send yourself to lower realms because of that. So yes, this is what we call karma in one sense of it. So it applies in this life and also lives to come. But the best thing is to let go of all karma altogether. But that is another topic, which I won't go into now. But that's in a way, if your meditation gets really deep and you let go of the sense of self, then there's no doer anymore, then who has intentions? Now, I said I wasn't going to go into it, but then I go into it anyway. You see, I'm not in control even if I decide. So there's no self here as well. But that you realize in meditation, intentions don't belong to anybody. Then even kind intentions are let go of. In a way, you're still kind, but you don't identify with it, and then it won't lead to rebirth anymore. So meditation connects to everything. You say this question is not about meditation, but Gloria, even your question, in a sense, you can connect to meditation as well. You practice kindness in your meditation, then that will somehow, in some indirect way, show your parents, what you're like, and teach them in a way. So thank you all for those questions. But anyway, we can say 3, 2, 1. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.